I was worried because I hadn't had any other kids in class. My kids went to JAP.
You ready, Roger? All right. Okay, again, welcome to Southwest High School. Those of you that have never been in this beautiful building. And we are here tonight to celebrate our wrestling team, boys and girls, for their many accomplishments throughout the season. The most of which is putting up with the three of us most of the time. So first, let me just introduce our coaching staff. All right, and we'll start off with our girls' head coach, Sandra Sessions. Our boys' assistant coach, really jack of all trades, Kevin Sniff. And then myself, boys' head coach, Ray Sessions. So I'll say a little bit about this night, and and I hope that our kids understand. Everybody that comes through here, we're going to recognize all of you for being a part of our team. Wrestling is one of the most difficult sports to compete in and to participate in. There's no teammate next to you to block for you. There's nobody to throw you the ball. It's just you and your opponent in the center of the mat. Okay? And so, of all the things that I've ever coached, wrestling to me is one of the most enjoyable things, just because of that nature of it. And with that being said, we are not a team that, we're not just standing out here handing out Wrestler of the Year awards to everybody that was on the team. Okay, our awards mean something. I'll give the backstory behind each one of them, and we want it to be something that the kids every year are striving to achieve, that they want to win something. And, I know last year, we had a couple of athletes that walked out of here a little bit disappointed. They thought they should have got a trophy and didn't get one. And this is just not that kind of team. We're not in business of handing out first place trophies to everybody. It means something. And we're here tonight to recognize the accomplishments of these student athletes. Okay, so with that being said, I want to first just recognize the students that participated, the students that were on our team. And so starting off with Maria Carrera, and some of them may not be here, so if they're not, we'll just hold the certificate for later, but Maria Carrera. Alana Dandridge. Alana is a second year letterman. She also participated in volleyball, basketball, softball, so Alana is involved in a lot of activities here at Southwest. Maria Gonzalez, first year letterman. Krista Guevara, who is not here. Cherish Hearn, first year letterman. Valeria, second year letter winner. Isabella Moreno, first year letterman, transferred over here from Central High School. Jolie Parker, first year wrestler, first year letterman. And one thing about Jolie, if I don't mention it later, she beat the #1 seed at regional. And I almost put that girl out of the tournament. So, Kiera Phillips, first year letterman. Bailey Sessions. Brooklyn Sessions. Caleb Dandridge, second-year letterman. Caleb is another one of those students that does a lot of activities. He's involved with band, he played football at one time, and does track. Our exchange student transferred in from Spain, Sofia Sanchez Mora. And I will say that there are some of the certificates that were messed up when we got them from the printer. So if you get your certificate that just has your name written on it, we're getting the new one. Okay, so we apologize for that. But some of them were messed up. Sammy Connolly. Zaylin Reagan, first-year letterman. Alexis Guzman, first-year letterman. Kayleon Ice, first-year letterman. Carion James, third-year letterman. Samaj Johnson, first-year letterman. He's not here today. I had some funny stories to tell about him. Eric Lemus, first-year letterman, also soccer player. Brandon Jones, first-year letterman, and not good at dodging cars. Adrian Marshall, first-year letterman. Ashton Marshall, first-year letterman. Adrian will accept the award for Ashton. German Paredes, and third-year letterman Jalen Waits. And Jalen has accepted a scholarship to go to Arkansas Tech University. So we're very proud of him. Krishna Guevara, first-year letterman. Bob Waters, first-year letterman. Bob competed in our lightweight division. Shamar Womack, second-year letterman. Okay, I believe that is everybody. All right, so the next ones that we recognize as our all-conference. All right, and these are more certificates. So these are the students who made all conference, and then we'll go into all region, and then all state. So first off, for the second year in a row, is Alana Dandridge. Now, and let me say, we recognize the all-conference through our dual season. So the way our schedule is set up is we wrestle every team in our conference one time. And so the way we recognize our all-conference is you have to win more than 50% of your matches in the conference. So that's what these athletes have done. They've won more than 50% of their matches in conference. Cherish Hearn. Valeria. Jolie Parker.
We've got time. Take your time. Take your time.
Kiera Phillips. Bailey Sessions. And we only had one of our boys wrestlers make all conference. We don't have his certificate because he got messed up. But it was a big accomplishment. We played around with the boys lineup quite a bit, and our conference is pretty, pretty tough with Central and Conway and Cabot Catholic. So, there's a lot of Jonesboro had 3 or 4 really, really good wrestlers. So the only boy that we had that made all conference through our duels is Bob Waters. So just stand up, Bob. We'll have to get the certificate to you. Okay, your certificate's one messed up. I apologize for that, but we do want to recognize Bob. Okay, next up is all region. For those of you that don't know, you have to wrestle at the regional to qualify for state. So this next group of people, they all qualified for state. They all qualified for state through the regional. And so they at least were top 4 in the region. So first up, second year all region, Alana Dandridge. First year all region, Maria Gonzalez. First year all region, Krishna Guevara. First year all region, Cherish Hearn. Second year all region, Valeria. First year all region, Jolie Parker. First year all region, Kiera Phillips. Second year all region, regional champ, Bailey Sessions. First year all region, Brooklyn Sessions. All region, Carion James. Second year. First year, all region, and this one came out of nowhere to surprise everybody. Brandon Jones. Brandon had a really good tournament that weekend. First year, all region, Adrian Marshall. All right, so next we're going to honor our All-State. And these are the athletes who not only qualified for state, but also finished in the top 4. So these athletes are in the top 4 of the state. And we had 2 this year. And they are both in the girls division. Alana Dandridge, second time All-State. And Bailey Sessions, second time All-State. Now, after state is done, sometimes the athletes elect to try out for the national team. For those of you who don't know, the national team competes in July. They do tournaments in June, but the main deal is in July at Fargo, North Dakota. So I think we had 4 boys, is that right, Mr. Smith? We had 4 boys and we had one girl compete for the national team. Bailey finished second in the state, qualified for nationals, and so she will be representing the state of Arkansas and, of course, Southwest High School in Fargo, North Dakota on July the 7th through the 10th. And she also qualified for the blue team. So, if anybody, and I will say this, so there is quite a bit of expense with that. If anybody is wanting to help her out with that, she's got a GoFundMe for that, and you can just talk to her. You know, she would appreciate it. But now on with the awards. We're going to start off the next one with our captains. So our captains are not chosen by the coaches. Our captains are elected by their team members. And our number of captains depends on the number of athletes we have. So the girls vote for the girls' captain, the boys vote for the boys' captains, so forth. And one thing that we do is once you're a captain, unless you have done something, disciplinary-wise, you're a captain the rest of your career here. So some of these may have been elected in previous years. If they are returning, then they will be captain next year, as long as they stay in good standing. So, first off, we have a newcomer this year, Carion James. New captain, not newcomer to the team. And he is a senior, so his spot will be available next year. Next, we have another senior, second-year captain, Jalen Waits. Next is a first-year captain who will be returning next year, Shamar Womack. And finally, second-year captain, Bailey Sessions. Okay, next up are some of the awards that I think are probably the most important. These are our Scholar Athlete Awards. Now, to qualify for a Scholar Athlete for our team, you must have a 3.0 cumulative grade average, and you also can't have anything lower than a 75. So even if you have a C, it can't be lower than a 75 to qualify as a Scholar Athlete for our programs. And we also, we don't put freshmen in it unless they have a 4.0 GPA. Okay, so all of these athletes have at least a 3.0. They also don't have any grade lower than a 75. And also, of course, their attendance is good. So these are important awards, okay? First off is Maria Carrera, Alana Dandridge, Maria Gonzalez, Cherish Hearn, Valeria, Isabella Moreno, Sophia Sanchez Mora. Bailey Sessions. And last but certainly not least, with the highest GPA of the team and also number one in her class with a 4.3 GPA, Brooklyn Sessions. All right, next we have Caleb Dandridge. Alexis Guzman's not here. Kaylee on ice. Samaj Johnson. Eric Lemus. Now the next one, I know he's not here, but his brother is. I'm going to brag about him because, you know, athletes who may not be eligible at the start of the school year can go into the Supplemental Instruction Program or SIP. This young man was in SIP to start football. That's how he was eligible. And he actually ended up with such a high GPA that he made our Scholar Athlete list. And that is Ashton Marshall. So, very good accomplishment for him. So Adrian will come up and get this for his brother. German Paredes. Right here. Zaylin Reagan. Jalen Waits. Okay, these next Scholar Athlete Awards, these come from the United States Marine Corps in conjunction with the National Wrestling Coaches Association. So the way that they get this is we nominate and we send in everybody that meets the criteria, and then they choose. So we have no control over who gets these awards. They send us the certificates, and then, of course, we show them here. Oh, and this one, they have to have a minimum GPA of a 3.5. Okay, and they also cannot have any C's. So it's A's and B's, nothing lower than a B, have to have a 3.5. So first we have Maria Carrera, Alana Dandridge, Maria Gonzalez, Valeria, Sophia Sanchez Mora, Isabella Moreno, Bailey Sessions, and Brooklyn Sessions. And for the boys team, Alexis Guzman, Jalen Waits, okay, so as you can see, not only are some of these young men and women good wrestlers, but they are also taking care of business in the classroom. And so, and of course, that's most important, because we want them to be employable adults one day. We want them to have a career, whatever path that is. We want them to be successful in life. And these next two awards, again, I think we sent in 3 names. We sent in 3 names for the boys. We sent in 4 names for the girls. Again, this is chosen by the National Wrestling Coaches Association in conjunction with the Marine Corps. There's a lot of things that go into this, but a lot of it is activities that students are a part of, things that they do outside of school. And so these next two are the recipients of the High School Character and Leadership All-American Award as presented by the United States Marine Corps and the National Wrestling Coaches Association. For the boys, it is Zaylin Reagan. And for the girls, Bailey Sessions. And if I'm not mistaken, Jalen, didn't you win that last year? Yeah. And Alana won it last year too, right? So we have two other former recipients of that award as well. All right, so next up we go to our statistical categories. Now these are actual wrestling categories. So these are the things, that happen over the course of a wrestling match: an escape, a takedown, a near fall. So the students that we call out here led the team in those categories. Some of them set school records, which is great. We will keep building upon that. And so that's something very important. First off, he's not here. But for the boys, the most escapes. Now, the way you score an escape is you're in the defensive position. So you're on the bottom of the mat and you get to your feet. You get separation from your opponent. And with a school record of 26, Ashton Marshall. All right, so next up we have near fall points. So these are points when you have your opponent in a pinning situation. They are not yet pinned, but you'll see the referee start swiping his hand. It means he's counting points. And then of course if they get in, if they pin them, then they don't award the points. All right, so this category can be good and bad. It means that you got your opponent on their back a lot, but you also let them off their back as well. So, but for the girls, the most near fall points, and this is also a school record, was Bailey Sessions with 53. And for the boys, also a school record, and this wasn't even close. With 80 points, Adrian Marshall. Okay, next up are our match points. And the match points are team points that the wrestler scores for the team. The most that we had this year for the girls was 219 points, and that's Bailey Sessions. And for the boys, also a school record, Adrian Marshall with 254. Okay, our next category is reversals. And the way you score a reversal is, again, you are in the defensive position, and you end up actually in an offensive position in control of your opponent. And this is probably the hardest thing to do in wrestling, is to work off bottom and get back in control. And so this is a very big deal. And with a school record, most reversals of 17, a lot of Dandridge. Okay. Also, school record with the most reversals of 19, Ashton Marshall. All right, next is the most pins. So this is the most wins by pinfall. And the girls with 32, Bailey Sessions. And for the boys with 22, Adrian Marshall.
You had to know you had that one.
Okay, so the next is takedowns. All right, so this is, you start off on your feet, you get control of your opponent. And for the girls with 41 takedowns, Bailey Sessions. And next, with a school record of 58 takedowns, Jalen Waits. And I do want to say, some of the categories, some of them were close. There were a couple of them between Bailey and Alana that were, 2, 3 takedowns. I mean, two or three difference. Some of the boys, it wasn't even close. Nobody got close to 58 takedowns for Jalen. Nobody got close to 80 near fall points for Adrian. So most wins, and this is also a school record, with 41 wins this past year, Bailey Sessions. And most wins for the boys with 28, Adrian Marshall. Okay, so next up, we have a special award that we give out. And what this award is presented by the coaching staff to someone who shows a lot of support and dedication to our team. A lot of somebody that is behind the scenes, helps out when needed, does things when we don't ask them to, and is just somebody that we appreciate. Last year's winner is the guy standing there filming for us right now. Does a lot for the school. And this year's winner is, no less than that. This person has come through time and time again, ask us, hey, what do you need, and helps get things done. And in fact, he funded part of this night last year. And so we are very, very fortunate to have him as a parent of our program, of 2 of our athletes. We're also very fortunate to have him as part of our supportive staff. And I am, of course, talking about Mr. Al Dandridge. And he is also the Booster Club president. So he does a lot for our school. All right, so our next award. This is what we call our Gryphon Award. And what this is the person who is the most improved from the midpoint of the season through the end of the season. So this is not necessarily somebody that, did something better from previous year, anybody is capable of getting this. This is not a first-year wrestler award. This is not a returning wrestler award. This goes to the person who improved the most during the year. And the first one is someone who lost most of her first matches and ended up getting third in the regional and qualifying for state, which probably shocked half the coaches in the conference. And we were very fortunate that she chose to wrestle this year. First-year wrestler, been around it a long time anyway. But of course, I'm talking about Brooklyn Sessions. So Brooklyn is the winner of our Gryphon Award for the girls. Our Gryphon Award winner for the boys is, again, and the criteria is someone who improves over the course of the season. And looking at the numbers, there were quite a few. There were 3 different boys that this could have been. All right, and it was just 2 matches that separated. It was 2 matches that separated them out. And so, a lot of these awards were real competitive. They were real close. For the boys this year, for the Gryphon Award, Zaylin Reagan. All right, next up, we recognize our most improved wrestler. And this is strictly to a returning wrestler who showed great improvement from one year to the next. Okay? So any newcomer to the program wouldn't be eligible for this. All right? Most new varsity wrestlers wouldn't be eligible for this. So this is strictly people who wrestled before and then improved from one year to the next. And first off, for the girls, we have Valeria. All right, for the boys, and this person went from a 17-30 record as a junior record as a junior to a 30-12 record as a senior, and that is Carrie-Ann James. All right, the next award is strictly to someone who is new to the program, first year to the program. Doesn't have to be a first-year wrestler. It could be a transfer. But this is somebody that is a beginner or new to our program. So for the girls, the winner of this award is Cherish Hearn. And again, this one was real close. There were 2 other girls that were right there with her. And then top newcomer for the boys, without a doubt, Adrian Marshall. I think that's pretty obvious with as many categories as he finished first in. All right, our next one. This is one of my favorite ones to give, and we make sure these are our trophies because this is a very important award to give. And this goes to the wrestlers who have been the most dedicated to the team. Okay, so these wrestlers have never missed a practice. They have never missed a meeting. And I mean for anything, not for school business, for another function. I mean, if we took out school business, there would be quite a few that would get this. All right, but these are people who said, you know what, I'm not going to go on that field trip. I'm going to go with the wrestling team today. I'm not going to do this after-school event with this group because I've got wrestling practice. So these students are absolutely 100% dedicated to this team and this program. First off, we have Zaylin Reagan. And the other factor in this too is every voluntary practice we have, they attended. So even though when we said, hey, we're out of school because of snow, you know, or we're out of school on Christmas break, these students still showed up. Next one is Shamar Womack. Brooklyn Sessions. And I know there's some of you think, well, of course she's going to be there, her parents are the coaches. Look, when I'm running out the door at 8 a.m. to make practice on time, I don't go in to wake them up. I will leave them at home. I do not make sure they are up and ready to go. So they'll tell you, I will leave them.
And just so you guys know, no one got this award last year.
That's right. We did not give this one out last year.
No one.
We did not, because we have people that missed for other things. And the last one is Bailey Sessions. All right, so now we are down to the final two awards of the night. And I want to kind of explain the process of this. This is our Wrestler of the Year award. And we have a formula that we put in. And really there were 4 boys that when you looked at the numbers, were close enough that could have got it. And there were only 2 girls that were close enough that could have got it. Okay, and so everything factors in, everything on this. And so some of the things that go into it, wins for the season, how many wins they got at state, how many wins they got at regional. They lose 1 point per loss that they had over the course of the year. How many match points they scored, how many team points they scored in duels, how many team points they scored in tournaments, state tournament team points, regional team points, how many penalties they had over the course of the season. They lose a point for that. Being all conference, being all region, being all state, how many pins, their place at state, regional place, tournament wins, any win over an out-of-state opponent, any pins over out-of-state opponents, and major tournament placings, tech falls, match points given up. So if it's somebody that gave up a lot of points, they lose a point for every one of those. Being a regional champion, winning a tournament, all of those get factored in. And so our Wrestler of the Year for the girls is Bailey Sessions. And our last one, and this one was close. I can't remember exactly, but it's probably about 30 points that separated the 2 wrestlers at the top. There were 4 that were within 50, 60 points, of getting this. And this person was Carrie-Ann James. So before we close this out, if our principal, George Maxey, would like to come up and say a few words, I first just want to thank everybody for being here, for honoring our athletes, for you athletes out there, who, you want to win the Wrestler of the Year award next year, or think about some of these things when you decide you're going to miss practice, or think about some of this whatever. But we want you to win these awards. But again, like I said at the beginning, we're not up here just handing them out to everybody. It's got to mean something. We want the people that win, the people that get these, to feel like they've accomplished something. And that's the goal. So I want to thank all of the athletes. I want to thank the parents that are here. And last but not least, Mr. George Maxey, our principal.
Good evening, everyone. Let's give our coaching staff a round of applause. You get Coach Sessions or not, he's going to run with it. I'll tell you that right now. So, great job, coaches. You've done a wonderful job this year. Also, let's give our parents a round of applause because, the needs are doing it all the practices. And I think that's important. I know we pushed the 3 guiding principles: be on time, follow directions, do your best. You did it as wrestlers. You came on time. You was at practice. You showed up. You followed the directions of your coaches. You had to listen to what they had to say. And more importantly, you did your best on that mat. You did the 3 guiding principles. You just didn't do it in the school building. You did it in the wrestling program. And think about it. Being here last year compared to this year, I was fortunate enough to be part of the wrestling banquet this year, being part of it this year, and the level of growth. I want to first apologize to the parents. I apologize, I've been in and out. I was double booked at a meeting, so I was trying to take care of that meeting and do this at the same time because I could not miss this. When Ms. Sessions told me about it tonight, I said, I had to be here tonight because I'm so proud of the wrestling team. The growth of our wrestling team, I tell individuals, our school's been open 5 years, but our sports program has only been around for 3. I don't count the 2 COVID years, just can't count. But we've been around really strong for 3 years. And the level of growth that we have shown in regards to individuals wrestling in nationals with Brooklyn Sessions and doing those things, and how many of us did regionals and state, we've done a great job. We're growing. And we're growing rather quickly compared to programs that have been around for a few years. We had our first home wrestling match. Hey, what y'all think of being in that Ox Gym? Did we not get loud in that Ox Gym? Oh yeah, we got crunk up in that Ox Gym. But next year, we're going to the big gym. We're going to the arena. We're going to get those 2 mats, right, Coach? That's right. We're going to get those 2 mats. We're going to lay those 2 mats out. We're going to get Gryphon mats, right, Coach? Yes, we're going to get Gryphon mats. Yeah, we're going to get Gryphon mats. Yeah. Because again, we got to bring life into what we want. So I promise you as parents that we're going to do what we need to do to make sure we celebrate your children because they did a wonderful job this year. And we're so proud of them. But we want this not to stop. This is just the beginning. So what does that mean? And Coach Sessions made a good point. Where will you be this summer? Where will you be this summer? If you're not in that wrestling room, you better have a good reason why. Because you cannot become state champions taking time off. It doesn't happen. Plain and simple. If you put in the work, you'll reap the benefits. You put in the work, you reap the benefits. I want to raise a state banner. but I'm not the one on the map. That's something I would like to have, but I'm not the one on the map. But if you want to raise a state banner, if you want to have the first banner in that arena and represent Little Rock Southwest High School, where will you be this summer? Because if you're not in that wrestling room, putting in that work, then you really don't want it bad enough. It's one thing saying this is what I want. It's another thing saying this is what I need to do. What does your diet look like? Will you be eating right? Will you be working out? Will you be putting in that energy? Now, I'll tell you one thing right now. Putting your work does reap benefits. It's not just raising a banner, but it gets you in a position where you give the opportunity to these coaches to sell you to colleges. I want to have a signing day for our wrestlers. Same what we have for basketball, same thing we have for football. We need to have a signing day for wrestling. But it just doesn't come that easily. We have to earn it. You have to earn it. So parents, I'm asking you to invest in your children right now. I'm asking you to invest in your children right now, parents. That means getting them up, getting them pushed, forcing them to do the extras. I'm going to steal something from Mrs. Braggs here. You know, I tell Ms. Braggs all the time, raise your hand, Ms. Braggs, she's one of the teachers in the building. And I thank Ms. Braggs for allowing her son to come here. She had options, she had choices, but she brought him here. She made sure he graduated from Southwest. He put in that work, and now he's going to school. He put in that work, and now he's going to school. That's what it's all about. I give commend to Sessions. They brought their daughters here. They didn't have to. The teachers in this building, but they did it. And their daughters are putting in that work. So I ask the rest of the players, where will you be this summer? If it's not here, why not? Why not? We got the winning formula. It's been proven. So are you ready to put that work in? Are you ready to raise that banner? If you are, join us this summer. Thank you again.
Oh, and I was just reminded that, yes, the girls' team came home with a second place trophy from the Lakeside Round Rumble, first trophy we won in school history for wrestling. So, you know, very good performance by the girls this year. The guys, I mean, it's tough, you know, and like Mr. Maxey said, you've got to put in the work. We're competing against schools where, you know, at Cabot, I don't know that they have any football players that wrestle. I think their wrestlers are year-round. At Central, their guys are year-round. And so I am not a person, I will never tell a kid to only play one thing. I don't want them to do just one thing. I want them to play every sport there is. You know, I definitely practice what I preach. My daughter played soccer for the first time ever this year. So she went from volleyball to wrestling to soccer. You know, I think you can excel in multiple sports. You know, so we'll never discourage anybody from participating in as many activities, as many sports as they want to participate in. But you've got to put in the work in all of them to be successful. And so, anyway, we thank you all for coming, and look forward to a successful summer campaign and getting ready for next season. I just got the dates today for regional and state next year. The regional tournament will be the last weekend in February. Yeah, you're right. State got pushed back. State is not until March the 6th. So it's going to be a long season. So I'm going to have to go in and revamp the schedule because I already had the schedule made out for mid-February conclusion. So, you know, I'm going to revamp the schedule, and we'll get that handed out to you guys, wrestlers. Check with us at the end of the week for your summer calendar, when workout times, all of that, so we can get that to you. But thanks everybody for coming. Anybody else? All right, go Gryphon.